Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick, and today we have set number 70652. This is Stormbringer, and this set retails for $39.99, containing 493 pieces and 4 minifigures, and was released as part of the Summer Ninjago Hunted sub-theme wave. In addition to the, Stormbringer dragon, we have this little anvil, which is designed in the set, at least, to be able to hold the dragon armor chestplate piece, which, this is kind of a collectible thing for the Hunted sub-theme. It's, you can get the full set several times if you buy all the sets. So, you don't need this one to get this armor piece, but it is a cool little mold. It's got the dragon shoulder pad on one side, 2 studs on the back. It fits around a minifigure's neck. Looks pretty cool, and they use this for the Golden Dragon Master Armor. And that just rests on here. It's not, you can knock it off pretty easily. However, if you want it to be securely attached, all you have to do is attach one of these clear pieces on top. They include one as an extra because there's one used to build this up in the first place. And, you can get it as a spare piece and just attach it on there, and then this won't fall off super easily. As far as the Anvil design, it's fine. It looks like an anvil. It's kind of cool. I don't know why they have used 2 of these double cheese slopes in there. I don't know if it's just to make it, easier to build or for an efficient part count, but you could hide a little something in there. Not too much, but maybe like a 1x1 round tile would fit. I don't know. But yeah, that's a little anvil. There's a little dead bush here, which looks kind of cool. And, I don't know, this fits in with the hunted the realm kind of feel. And, works pretty decently as a little side build. The dragon itself is pretty sizable for a $40 dragon. It's slightly shorter than Lloyd's Green Ninja Mech Dragon from the Ninjago movie, and about the same height-wise, maybe a little bit skinnier too, but it's pretty similar in size. Like, the $10 difference just makes sense, upon having both of them built. And, I don't know, I think that this dragon, I don't know, I really wanted to enjoy the build of this one, especially after building Firstborn. The head is where I have the biggest problem with it. I really like the way the body is built up. The tail, it's a mechanism that they've used before, but they have this little gear here, and you just swish that back and forth. It's always fun when they do this. I don't know. I've had fun just swinging this back and forth. You can use it to knock over figures if your figures are of the right height, which in this case they are. And you can knock over. This is muzzle, right? Yeah, muzzle. You can knock them over. But yeah, it's pretty well detailed. I like the use of these pieces throughout, creating a good little spine. It works well. I like the bright yellowish orange with the tooth plates down the side. And you get kind of a snake shape where it goes up and then arches back down. The back legs, use these Next One Ice shields, which are good to get in this color. And you can move them up and down, you can move them out and in, and you can, flatten the feet out. And the feet just have 2 claws on them. All 4 of the feet are the same. The front legs are slightly different with, these tooth plates there, but they have the same articulation as before. And, you can kind of get it into a walking pose by, just moving the feet back and forth, and yeah, like that. It's kind of walking. There, that's better. But yeah, it's that works pretty well. I do like the winglets here. They use these Next One Ice pieces. Those are exclusive in this color, I believe, right? No, I'm wrong. Not right. I think it's these that are exclusive in that color. And you got the lightning pieces here, which give it the Stormbringer feel. And these, they're like vestigial wings. They can be splayed about, and you can also separately click hinge them. And, you can bring them back while bringing these horns up. You can get all sorts of cool little things done with those. And, they're nothing crazy, but they work, and I like the way that they look on this dragon. They're nothing special for, you know, playability or anything. There's no special features. And you can utilize one of the little special features here, which is the fact that you've got these clips all throughout the dragon, all over the place. And those can be used with, in this case, Daddy No Legs. He has this harpoon weapon, and it's attached to a chain that's attached to him, and you can throw that and clip it on to here. And, you know, imagine your dragon's flying along, and you got clipped, and, you know, you pull him down to the ground. Throughout the wave of sets, there are several dragon hunters that get stuff like this. Like Heavy Metal has a gun weapon that's built up with a chain on the end, and you can use that to shoot you know, the dragons and pull them down. So if you had a couple characters, this is the only one really included in that set, you could remove this piece from Muzzle's weapon and use that as a staff, but then again, he can't really reach. He'd have to like jump up in the air and just be dragged along. So, you know, you could probably pull something off with just the pieces in this set, but, you know, if you have other hunted sets with dragon hunters in them, then you can use those other characters to help tackle the dragon, because it's a little bit hard to do this as one person, especially when you have no legs. And the one thing I think is kind of cool that they do with the dragons in the hunted sub-theme are the ability to make the saddles when they have them, you know, the ability to detach them completely. And you can just pull Jay's off, it's just attached with 2 clips. You could use those as clipping points for the dragon hunters as well. They use those bars mainly, but, you know, you could use those if the saddle's not attached. And the saddle is built up pretty simply. It's, you know, just got a 2x2 space for Jay. And I guess even here you could use those as clipping points for the Dragon Hunter's weapons. And you have 2 clips on the back, so you could equip Jay's 2 weapons there. Or you could just leave them in his hands. You know, I guess it doesn't hurt to clip that on there. But with this weapon in particular, the chain one, you'd have to basically clip it on both unless you want it to just be flopping around, like all over the place. And it doesn't fit in there perfectly. Because the chain, whatever, it can flop around there. But yeah, you can just clip that on. It does use the quarter round tiles and those Minecraft rail system pieces that were relatively new. You know, those are kind of cool. And then we get to the head of the dragon, which unfortunately only has the 1 ball joint down there. That's the biggest problem I have with this whole set, I think. You know, that you don't have enough. I mean, you kind of have some. I wish you could rotate the bottom half of the neck separately from the very head of the dragon. That's my biggest complaint here. You can simply remove these chains, by the way, if you remove the saddle. You know, make it completely a wild dragon. You do have the brick printed here for the eyes. It is a 1x4 brick, I believe. And then behind this area is just completely black printed on the brick. It's pretty good looking. You got the spiky design there, as from the front. It's pretty good looking. I do like the opening mouth, and you know, it opens and closes. Looks a little weird while open, from straight on, and from the side it's not perfect, but it works. And you do have the ability to, and this is probably a main reason why the neck is not articulatable, because when you stick these spring-loaded shooters into the mouth, you can't really shoot them off while the mouth is closed, obviously, because you'd just be shooting inside yourself, but they stick out this far, and that's why you can't have that split. I would have preferred, I think, you know, maybe if they had to sacrifice and just put stud shooters inside the mouth instead of spring-loaded shooters. Spring-loaded shooters are cooler, but I feel like having the articulation is more important than having spring-loaded shooters over stud shooters. I don't know. But other than the lack of neck posability, which, you know, is for a reason, I don't necessarily agree with the reason, but it is a reason. Other than that, I don't know. I feel like the design of the head is okay, and you know, it's not worse than I expected, at least. So, you know, what you see on the box is what you get for the most part. The articulation is a little bit more limited, but you know, what can you really do? I do like how they do continue the yellow orange design down underneath there, and you know, basically continues through the whole way. This is a new color for that piece in the set too, by the way. Random fact. But yeah, I mean, I think that this build of the dragon was better than I was expecting it to be. Still not the best Firstborn's better, but this isn't terrible. First up for figures, we have Daddy No Legs, and he's got a build made up of relatively common parts. He's got the little spider legs. You have 2 of these printed 1x1 tiles, one on either side, and you have the chain that attaches to him and it attaches to his weapon. You could remove the chain if you wanted to, and just completely take the weapon off. His other weapon is made up with one of those specialized hunted blades they've started introducing in Ninjago sets, and I believe they've really only been used in Ninjago sets. You can remove the figure from here, but it is attached on to the back as well. And you know, the torso is the same that they use for a ton of the hunted figures. There's the front printing on there, and if we remove this, you can see the back printing. I'm not going to be removing the back printing from muzzle because it is, or I'm not going to be removing the back accessories from muzzle because he does have the same printing and same torso exactly as Daddy No Legs here. But the one thing that is exclusive about Daddy No Legs is the facial print, which looks pretty good and does have no back printing on the head, and you have the hair that is attached at the top of the head. Like Nauticon, but it does use the hollow stud to make it actually, you know, sturdy enough to stand. Overall, Daddy No Legs here is a pretty well-made figure, and it looks pretty cool. It's definitely unique amongst all of the hunted, you know, bad guys. Muzzle here is, you know, relatively standard, comparatively speaking. He's relatively standard. He appears in several of the hunted sets. Here he has one of those katanas with the shortened handles that, you know, you attach an extra piece to as a weapon. Also from that same pack of weapon parts is this, you know, curved half moon blade piece. And muzzle has the, you know, mask hood. This meshes with the bottom half of a ninja or a Ninjago movie hood piece. And then you have this really cool shoulder armor piece, which has some great detailing on there. You can stick his sword in the back of it if you wanted to. Fits in perfectly. And he does have a cool face print underneath, where you can see he has this cool little bandana thing going on. And there's no printing on the back of the head. And the hunted version of Jay is pretty suited up here. He's got the little nunchuck half weapon thing, which uses one of these scythe blades, again from that hunted weapon pack. There's another one of these included, as well as another one of those half moon pieces. In fact, I'll show you real quick over here that you do get an extra one of these, an extra one of these, and an extra of each of these included as part of that little weapon pack, and they aren't used in the build anywhere, so you've got those just to mess around with. And his other weapon is the Dragonborn or Dragonbone blade, and it has this cool dual molded tan / metallic silver blade piece, as well as the dragon hilt, which is in pearl gold, and there is an extra one of these included as well as an extra part. And you know, those are some cool extra pieces. He does also have one of those tiny little daggers, which is just stuck into his shoulder pads as a good place to hold weapon, apparently. And you have the same old Sons of Garmadon mask, but the bottom half is black this time, and there is some good printing on the torso. It's designed to look like the Sons of Garmadon suits, but they've been, you know, ripped up from wear and tear in the realm of Oni and Dragons. And the printing on there is pretty good. There's a tear on his leg, as you can see, and there's a tear on his back, and this is normally hidden by the shoulder armor, but you know, you can see it when you remove that. And the final figure is Zane, and note, if you get this set and Firstborn, you will have all 4 of the ninja in their hunted suits, not including, you know, Lloyd and Nia, who are in the other realm, and they can be gotten in the $20 set. So if you just want one of each ninja in their hunted suits, you know, you only need to buy 3 sets, which is pretty cool, or you could just buy 2 sets if you buy the largest one and the smallest one. So I think both of those work out to be around the same price, though. Actually, I think it's cheaper to buy a $70 set and a $40 set and a $20 set than it is to buy a $130 set and a $20 set. So yeah. But as far as this figure goes, he has another one of those short katana hilt, or short hilted katanas that you stick into another piece, which I like those buildable ones because you get the handle having a different color. I don't know if I like this piece specifically being the handle, but you know, I do like that as a concept. And you do get a quiver here and a bow and arrow because that's his new signature weapon, because apparently shurikens aren't cool. And he does have the standard Sons of Garmadon Zane face, which, you know, we're going to be seeing for a while now probably, but it is different from the Ninjago movie one, so it's a slightly newer face print piece than, you know, for the other ninja who we got a ton of in the Ninjago movie. And the leg print and torso print are both pretty well done, and there's some back printing on his face, but it's not a secondary expression. And the torso print on the back of the figure is also pretty well done. So, overall, I think that this Stormbringer is actually better than I was expecting it to be. I mean, obviously, 500 parts for $40 is not bad. And, you know, almost 500 parts is what you got here. I think the minifigure selection is pretty good. Again, I'm glad that they, you know, give you Jay and Zane here and Cole and Guy and Firstborn, so if you just get the 2 dragon sets, then you'll have the full team from the Oni and Dragon realm. And then, you know, the Daddy No Legs figure is very cool. It's a neat little build, as well as, you know, you get the exclusive print for the face, and, you know, these armor pieces for the Dragon Hunters are just really cool parts, and, you know, always cool to get more of them with muzzle here. And I do like the little weapon packs that they've introduced for the Hunted sub-theme, you know, with just the special weapon pieces. So again, those are cool. This little side build is neat looking. They honestly really didn't need to include it, because you already have the blade. But I'm glad they did, and again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm glad that, you know, it is possible to make this a little bit more secure. Just that this piece doesn't fall all over the place, because I feel like that would have bugged me after a while, just moving this back and forth, you know, knocking that over, losing it probably. So, you know, it is a good thing that, you know, it's not too hard to make it more secure, and you can do it with just the extra pieces in the set. The dragon itself, again, you'll notice here, this is what it looks like when you remove the saddle completely. I'm glad that they give you that feature. This is, you know, the only season that's kind of dealt with the fact that the dragons are like the wild animals. I don't know. And I'm glad that, you know, it gives you the option to switch between the two. And I think this ability to, you know, kind of try to trap down the dragons, you know, with the various bad guy weapons throughout the wave, really. I think that that's a cool little thing, and, you know, I think that they well represented the dragon hunting action, you know, for play throughout the wave of sets, and, you know, this is just another good example of, you know, being able to do that. And I think that, I don't know, I feel like that adds a good amount of value to the set. Overall, yes, the head of the dragon is still my least favorite part, but I don't know, I think that I think that even with the, you know, head that's less than perfect, I think the set is still pretty successful, you know, at giving you a good dragon. Because, yeah, maybe it's just subjective, and I'm the one who doesn't like it, and maybe there's people who think it is the greatest dragon head they've ever done. But I do think the body of this is pretty good, and the head is still a good build. It's just, you know, not the best result, and, you know, the neck posability is, I think, the biggest limiting factor of the build for the head here. But overall, I do think that this is a solid set. For $40, you know, maybe if you can't afford the Firstborn, I'd recommend this. I think Firstborn's better, and if you have the ability to get one of the two, either one of the two, pick that one. But if you can only get the $40 Stormbringer, I think you'd still have fun with this dragon. I do think that, you know, you might want to get If you can get this in the Destiny's Wing, I don't know. I think that would work pretty well as well, because the Destiny's Wing is a bad guy ship. I don't know, you could fly over it with some people on the wings, and they could jump down and attack the dragon and grab it. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like had they included one of the chain guns for muzzle here, I think that would have been a good solution too, for, just giving it, because you kind of need 2 people to be able to pull down the dragon. But anyway, enough rambling about that. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys all next time. Let me know what you think of the Stormbringer set down below too.